Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're exploring a deeply profound, honestly timeless story about trusting the wildly unpredictable process of life. We're going to break down an ancient fable that tackles something almost all of us struggle with, literally our entire lives, the fine art of patience.
Part 1. Disasters or Hidden Blessings, the Central Paradox. You know, we humans are totally wired to instantly categorize every sudden event in our lives as either entirely good or entirely bad. But think about this for a second. Have you ever thought a disaster was actually a blessing? Seriously, reflect on your own life for a moment. Think about a time you deeply grieved a loss. Maybe it was a lost job, a missed opportunity, or some grand plan that completely failed, only for you to realize, maybe months or even years later, that it actually benefited you in completely unexpected ways. It's a completely universal human experience, and honestly, it is the exact foundation of the story we are unpacking today.
And that brings us to the core teaching from our source material, perfectly captured in this quote right here. What looks like a disaster today may become your greatest blessing tomorrow. The text really emphasizes that what feels like a devastating loss right this second, it might actually be preparing you for something far, far greater. And, on the flip side, what feels like a magnificent reward might actually carry a hidden challenge. It's all about establishing a mindset of real, overarching patience.
And this brilliantly illustrates Part 2, The Farmer and the Horse, a baseline of calm.
So our story begins with a wise farmer. Now this man represents a profound baseline of calm. He is essentially our model for how to navigate the crazy highs and lows of life without losing our center. When a wealthy merchant approaches him and makes an incredibly tempting financial offer for his prized horse, the farmer straight up refuses to sell. Right out of the gate, this establishes his character. He possesses this deep detachment from immediate financial gain. He isn't swayed by the quick flash of wealth or the pressure of what anyone else might do in his shoes.
Notice the intense juxtaposition we have going on here. On one side, the villagers' reactions are basically a pendulum of extreme, chaotic emotional swings. When he refuses the money, they call him a complete fool. They panic, they mock him, they celebrate prematurely. But the farmer? His reaction is just a wall of patience, calm, and steady neutrality. He absolutely refuses to let the noise of the village dictate his internal state.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Part 3, the chain of events, the whiplash of fate.
Okay, buckle up because from here, the story accelerates into a rapid, entirely unpredictable chain of events. Brace yourself for the whiplash. Day 1, the farmer refuses that lucrative sale. By week 1, the unthinkable happens. His prized horse just vanishes. Poof, gone. But then, week 2, the horse returns. And get this, it brings back 5 wild horses with it. Suddenly, he's rich in livestock. But wait, week 3, the farmer's son tries to tame one of those new wild stallions, gets thrown off, and severely breaks his leg. Talk about a roller coaster. Bad luck to good luck to bad luck, literally all in the blink of an eye.
I really want to focus on that number 5 for a moment. 5 wild horses walking right onto the farmer's property. When this happened, the source tells us the villagers instantly flipped their script. Suddenly, the man they were just calling a fool was being hailed as the luckiest man alive. I mean, they were practically ready to throw a parade based on a single, isolated moment of apparent good fortune.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is mapping out the sheer absurdity of the villagers' mindset. When the horse disappears, they mock him. When the horses return, it's a massive premature celebration. And when the son breaks his leg, they immediately pivot straight to blame, accusing the farmer of greed. They are entirely at the mercy of their immediate circumstances, just completely exhausted by their own extreme reactions. And meanwhile, the farmer just quietly watches it all unfold.
Which brings us to Part 4, a twist of fate, the ultimate reveal.
You see, the story doesn't end with a broken leg. The narrative takes a dark, serious, and entirely unexpected turn for the whole village. All that petty gossip and those extreme reactions, they're about to be abruptly silenced by a much larger reality. War comes to the village. Suddenly, the context of absolutely everything completely shifts. A devastating conflict erupts, and that terrible accident from week 3, the son's broken leg, transforms into the ultimate blessing.
This is where the supreme irony hits. All the healthy young men in the village, the very ones whose families were likely mocking the farmer earlier, are drafted and taken away to face the brutal realities of war. But the farmer's injured son? He is spared. Because of his severe injury, he gets to stay home. The very thing the village viewed as an absolute tragedy is exactly what saved his life.
Throughout every single one of these wild swings, the loss, the gain, the injury, the farmer maintained a quiet reflection. Often just sitting under his neem tree, he would simply say, "Only time will tell." He deeply understood that we are only ever seeing a tiny fraction of the story, and in the end, life proved his philosophy absolutely right.
Part 5. 3 Timeless Life Lessons. Synthesis. So, what do we do with this? We've seen the fable, we've watched the exhausting chaos of the villagers, and we've observed the quiet wisdom of the farmer. Let's synthesize this wisdom into actionable takeaways you can actually use. The source distills this down to 3 clear, timeless lessons. Step 1. Stop judging every moment the instant it arrives. Step 2. Trust the process. And Step 3. Stay steady in both good times and bad. These aren't just nice ideas. They form an incredibly solid, structured approach to maintaining your sanity in a highly unpredictable world.
So, the crucial point is how we actually apply this wisdom to our daily lives. You have to give life time to reveal its full picture. Think about it. A single brushstroke doesn't make a painting. Just because you can't see the road ahead does not mean it leads nowhere. Balance, that steady neutrality the farmer had, is the absolute ultimate key to inner peace. When you finally stop judging life too soon, you insulate yourself from that exhausting emotional whiplash that the villagers suffered from.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, frankly challenging thought. What current disaster in your life might just need a little more time to reveal its blessing? Think about the farmer. Think about his unwavering patience under that neem tree. Whatever storm you are in right now, perhaps the most powerful thing you can do is simply take a breath, hold your ground, and wait to see how the story truly ends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.